The average is 8 hours a day. If I'm going to be honest, probably my own personal usage is more than 8 hours.
There are some challenges that you will have. I think for me to sit down and listen to those who are doing that and kind of have that jewel to understand what are your values that you stand on so that it keeps you moving towards this kind of ministry.
What's the core message? What's your goal? Why did you start this channel?
Well, as a pastor, you know that this is a platform. The question that I have is how can I participate and use that tool or platform so that I can make ministry out of it, so that I can reach a portion of our nation. God is in media. This is something that God is using. Unless you participate on this platform, I think you're missing something in the ministry.
Hey everybody, welcome. This is Medialight. We are a global network mobilizing you for gospel mission today. And we'd like to welcome you for this conversation that we're having. And this one is extra special because we have Pastor Jonathan Aranton from Lighthouse Christian Community in Manila, Philippines, having his own personal creativity retreat. And he has spent 1 week right here at Medialight Creativity Center. It's a beautiful campus. We have this media mission school that we are operating right here in Chiang Rai, Thailand. It's a beautiful place. We are surrounded by mountains, waterfalls, pineapple plantations, just a beautiful nature around us. There is a way to get here and see it. We're going to let you know how to do that later. But right now, we'd like to welcome Pastor Jonathan. Thank you, sir, for joining us.
My privilege, my honor to just sit down with my dear friend.
Yes.
Thank you for the opportunity.
It just so happened that he came over here and we're running a school, and he spent 1 week here in the Media Mission School of Medialight for his own personal creativity retreat. So I guess let me ask you and jump right in. After 1 week of having this retreat for yourself and for your wife, uh, touching base with your creativity and being exposed to a media mission school such as Medialight, what has been your realizations?
Well, for me, it was really a special time, because first, the place was so good.
Yeah,
You can
yeah,
relax. And I think that's part of, bringing out the creativity in you, that you're able to relax and rest. And then, the juices will just come out from you. But maybe what really struck me for the days that had passed is to understand why do you do this. One of the professors there or one of the facilitators just challenge us. When you do social media mission, it is important that you have the right pillars. What are your value pillars? And for me, that was my great takeaway, because uh,
Mm.
all these things that we are doing now for social media, or we want to try social media for the church, the best thing is that first your why. And when you know your why, it will be easy for you to do the how. So for me, the value pillars are the most important thing that I have learned so far. And
This takeaway that you said you had, is this a new thing for you? Like this opened your mind to a new way of thinking? And how does that affect the way you see your ministry uh, afterwards, after your retreat
yeah,
here?
back in my country, Philippines, I'm already doing some social media ministry. I have my own channel. But when you do that, there are some challenges that you will have. And I think for me to sit down and listen to those who are doing that and kind of have that jewel to understand what are your values that you stand on so that it keeps you moving towards this kind of ministry. And for me to be reminded and to clarify my why will give me more stamina in doing this, because when you start social media, it's like it's not one day, it's like a ministry altogether. It's like if you start it, then you have to know also how to move forward for a longer period of time. And I think value pillars are important, and as I define it, that helped me, somehow see the vision
Yeah.
for my ministry and for the social media that I'm doing.
Okay. Can you tell us more about your social media? You said you started one.
Yeah,
What is it about? What's the core message? What's your goal?
correct.
Why did you start this channel?
Well, as a pastor, you know that this is a platform that
Mm.
people are into. In the Philippines, social media is so big. It almost changed the TV. Now they go to the phone to get media and information. And the question that I have is, how can I participate and use that tool or platform so that I can make ministry out of it, so that I can reach a portion of our nation? For me, when I did my social media, it is my way of touching our nation. Because you can be a voice, but the question is, what kind of voice can we provide for my nation? And that's the reason why I did that, because that's, if you want to transform your nation, you have to talk to them. And that's my way as a pastor to participate in discipling our nation. If I can be, you know, get a space in their social media time, for me, I'm doing my part as a pastor of discipling our nation. So that's the reason why I made that channel or Facebook, for me to be able to somehow participate in that
Yeah.
venture.
Yeah. The average is 8 hours a day.
See,
That's the
yeah,
average. But that's only average.
correct.
So if I'm gonna be honest, probably my own personal usage is more than 8 hours, right? But and I'm sure some of the viewers can relate to that. I'm interested to know, after spending 1 week in a space like this, in an environment like this, where you get exposed to creatives, media, and the thought of how important media is. What are your thoughts now, going back to your church, going back to your ministry? What are the things that you're thinking now of, ooh, I want to change that, or this is how I'm going to apply what I heard or what I've learned? Or are there key areas in your ministry that you're really now convinced, like, okay, we really need to shape up in terms of media, our media game, so to speak?
Yeah. Well, the first thing is the appreciation for media ministry. I think what I have learned for the last few days is that God is in media.
Mhm.
This is something that God is using.
Mm.
Unless you participate on this platform, I think you're missing something in the ministry. So it is important for to appreciate, one, to appreciate that media ministry is really now should be part of
Mhm.
every church. And then second, appreciate the people in media ministry, because sometimes that's what we miss, that we feel like as pastors, we just dump to our media ministry what they need to do, or we just see them as, you have to do this for us. But I think just like any other minister, you have to take care of them, because they take long hours to do something for the pulpit, for the ministry, and sometimes we miss out in appreciating them.
You mean the media
The
creatives,
media creatives,
your media team?
the media team, and I think
Yeah.
that's one realization that I think we should rev up as pastors,
Hmm.
because we don't want to burn out these media ministers that we have in the church. So I
Yeah.
think that's one thing. But the second thing that I've realized is that there are so many opportunities that you can use media.
Hmm.
Like maybe in the area of evangelism. In our context, I think in the area of evangelism, you can really use media. Just to somehow uh, appetite people
Yeah.
to listen or converse about God. I think that's one thing in the evangelization. But second, in discipleship, I
Hmm.
think in helping people, equipping people, you can multiply the effect of teaching if you can use media. Because sometimes you have to be there physically to teach people, but through media you can multiply yourself. So that's one thing that I realized. And even in the leadership development of people, you can use also some creative ways to train leaders. And I think these three areas are very fundamental in terms of ministry.
Yeah. I want to catch on what you said about revving up in terms of the church's appreciation of, and you use the term media ministers. I really like that because uh people who serve through media, they're actually ministers.
Yep.
But a lot of churches and a lot of church leaders don't see that. They see maybe a rank and file, somebody that they throw their, preaching to, and then, make me a PowerPoint template,
Yep.
and worse, you give it maybe Sunday 4 a.m. in the morning, but your preaching is 8 o'clock in the morning, and
Mm.
this poor guy only has like 4 hours to come up with something. But you use the term media ministers, which I really like because they are actual ministers
Right.
in very practical ways. Can you tell me, like, where are your thoughts in terms of, because you said you want to rev up in terms of your appreciation and in terms of coming alongside these ministers. So where are your thoughts on that? In very practical terms, how do you plan to do that?
Well, first is you need to affirm them
Hmm.
that they are a minister, because sometimes they lose sight of that, and sometimes that's the reason why they are burnout, because they see this as just a job that others or pastors won't like to do. That's why they feel like it's being dumped to them. But if they sense that they are called and this is making impact to the lives of many people, I think that is their core
Yeah,
value. And
and it does.
they serve God through their creativity. So I think just telling it to them, that's
Yeah,
very important. Of course, you can amplify that also. When you tell it to them, bring them to good coffee, and
yeah.
just, or maybe give them a better equipment, or maybe plan it,
There you go.
plan it, because equipments are costly,
Yeah.
but at least something that they can work decently.
Yes.
I think that's important, to
Yeah.
see that in the church budget, that equipment like this, because you amplify things. And
Yes.
I'm administrator of our church, and I see also dollars or peso on the side of ministry. And I
Yes.
think it will be helpful that if you compute that as well, maybe you're adding a dollar or two or hundreds or thousands.
Yeah.
But I think the multiplying effect, if they are able to create good material, teaching material, evangelizing material, I think the $1 will multiply. So as an administrator, that's for me, you should rethink about that so that they'll
Mm-hmm.
be encouraged. And then, of
Yeah.
course, have a good schedule of rest for them.
Yeah.
I think it is important that they also have rest.
Yep.
And it has to be forced, because these artists, they are creative, they like to stay late. But I think having a good schedule, providing, mandatory rest for them is important.
I
And
love that mandatory rest.
because you have just like
Yeah.
other volunteers who need rest.
Yes.
And probably the practical way is ask them how are they,
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
because
Mm.
sometimes we don't do that as pastors.
Yeah.
But these people give a lot of time. 8 hours is minimum, but who asked them how are
Yeah.
they, how are they really.
I like what you're saying because it's becoming more and more a regular thing, like a regular scenario in churches or in church organizations where the creative worker or the media person is burnt out and then just leaves and leaves brokenhearted, because they feel like they have been neglected and nobody has even, said how are you to them. So all of these things that you're saying, I'm sure this is resonating to some people listening now. And I really do appreciate all of the things that you said, and I totally agree. Is there anything like like from your 1 week retreat here in Medialight, like is there an idea that sparked in you like, oh, I'm gonna start that when
Mm.
I go home?
I've been planning about it,
Mm-hmm.
because I know as ministers, we try to make an impact for the Lord, not only nationally, but sometimes the Lord is calling you to disciple the nations. And I think what the Media Light did to me for the last few days is to inspire me that I can do this. So one of the projects that I have here is to start that one YouTube channel
Yeah.
that I intend to use to participate in discipling the nations.
Okay.
So it's like, because I believe, as a minister, that I also have, a participation to that. So they helped
Go
me.
go beyond what your pulpit can reach.
Yes.
Yep.
And even in, locally, to the Filipinos alone.
Mm-hmm.
I think, we can do more, like Judea and Samaria and ends of the earth. I think that channel is about that, and the Media Light helped me somehow have the confidence to
Awesome.
put it, and put it up,
Yeah.
and have a starter
Yes.
for that. So that's helpful for me, somehow to walk with other media ministers and have that, confidence to
Yeah.
start it and
Yeah.
then develop from that. But
Yes.
let me add to what you can do to encourage your media minister, because I
Okay.
have experience here the young media ministers, the Gen Z ones,
Mm.
and they gave me good feedback, about my own work as I create my YouTube channel. It's like, I needed that, because
Yes.
we as a pastor, we feel like we're perfect in everything that we do, but we're not. And sometimes the way we communicate is that it's always the way. But when I
Mhm.
open myself, walking with them, journeying with them, hearing from the other artists
Yeah.
is like an eye opener for me, and say, man, I didn't see that.
And that's the best thing about critique, and that's one of the cultures that we have here in Medialight. We are always open for critique, because then you hear a different perspective, you hear a different, like a different take on, this particular thing that you are doing, a different idea, which widens you
Correct.
and also allows you to see bigger, and also see better. Yeah.
And my intention is to reach the emerging leaders in my channel, or in the ministry that I want to create in the social media. And they're helping me to, make sure that I can communicate to that kind of people. And that feedback is coming from these people, because as a pastor, I communicate, in various to various people. But to hear from them, the younger ones,
Mm.
what would tick them, or what would be effective for them.
Yeah.
Oh, that was a great
Yeah.
stuff for me.
Sure. Yeah, yeah, yeah. So you talked about on the personal level, okay, I'm gonna apply this, but you also came here as a church pastor. So how are you? Are there anything that any ideas that sparked in your mind as having to spend time here? How will you? How are you planning to push the envelope church level?
Mhm.
Like, do you have anything that I want to do that in the church? Yeah.
I really like about media ministry is not only to create a a voice, but to have a conversation. I think that's one of the takeaway that I have as well. That to have a conversation to these people that you're trying to reach out. The social media is your platform so that they can see and hear God may be talking to them, or there's something value about God, about His Word, about His wisdom. But that is something that connects to a person, because that's what people are looking for: community,
Yeah.
connection. So it's a bridge. So I think when we do some social ministry, it's important that it's social. The
Mhm.
social media will connect them to the church, to
Mhm.
a person that will be able to talk to them, minister to them.
And eventually build a relationship. Yeah.
Yes. So I think
Yeah.
that should, that the circle should be enough, or your range is enough that they can connect with you.
Yeah, because building relationships is the ultimate goal, you know. We actually have been doing an experiment here in our own local ministry. We have decided for our social media platforms that we do not want to just create content anymore. We want to create journeys where people can, join in, or how would I say it? Us coming alongside people, I guess is a better way of saying it. We come alongside people. We believe that all lost people are in a journey. And so we come alongside them at the point of their need and somehow start a journey with them. So we've translated this in an experiment on social media where we stayed away and veered away from creating viral reels, like the usual things that we see on TikTok, the trends, as they say. So we veered away from it, and we intentionally created journeys. It's usually a mix of text, image, short video, and interactivity, but at the end of every journey post, there is an invitation for conversation. Like DM us if you'd like to talk. Or if this resonated with you, you can DM us or you can message us or let's talk. So there's always an invitation to have a conversation. And so we've made this experiment and we have found out that people actually respond. We've received some messages and we've been back and forth with these people, and then the journey continues as we go back and forth, and we actually feel like, yeah, we're taking this person one step closer to Jesus, because that's the realization. The realization is we can do what we do in physical ministry and actually amplify it on
Correct.
on social media, right? And we've seen that so far in our experiment. You can actually build relationships. So I totally agree with what you're saying.
Yeah, and I think that that also gives confidence to churches or pastors, because sometimes when you talk about social media ministry, it's like you're talking about millions. How can I hit 1 million
There's
like
always that
that
pressure.
pressure? But
Yeah.
I think what makes it meaningful is that can it touch a life,
Yes.
and one life matters to God.
Yes. And that's the key also. Like when we were doing that experiment, in our heads, we're not talking to a million, we're talking to one person, right? This message has been crafted to one person.
Mhm.
And in our heads, we even have a name, we have a demographic, what is this person like? What is he or she going through? What is the pain point, right?
Mhm.
So yeah, we're not talking to a million, you're just talking to one. If you become intentional that way,
Correct.
then you have a more powerful message now to deliver, or that you can craft and deliver.
I like the word that you used, journey. I think that
Mm,
that will also give, somehow a more focused value in social media ministry, because you're journeying with people.
yeah,
Like, that's one step that they were able to hear the word of God, but somebody, as they responded to it, or message or DM, direct message, then somebody will take care of that person.
yeah,
And then it becomes a journey, and it makes more meaning in what we're doing, because nothing is lost. It's just a place that you can do the Great Commission.
that's right.
Mm.
Yeah, yeah. We've sent out this invitation to church leaders, to Christian leaders, to have this retreat here at Medialight. And Pastor Jonathan is one of those who said, yeah, that makes sense to me. I'd say yes to that. Would you recommend to other Christian leaders to also have this same retreat that you have experienced here in Medialight?
Yeah, for me, yes, I would. because I think it gives us a better perspective as pastors to really understand this platform. It's a language. It's
Mhm.
a platform that you can amplify your ministry. And it's important as a head pastor to understand this, because if we don't, then we are always against new creative way of, or maybe sometimes we'll feel like it's not effective. But when you see other people who are doing this nationwide or even internationally, kind of give you a perspective that you don't see
Mhm.
locally. So to spend time with other people and hear from them what they are doing, in their own nation, it gives you
Yep.
that can work for us. So I will recommend the head pastor to somehow consider, and they can work with you, because I know some programs are long, but others are, you can customize it in a way, and
Yeah.
that's very very helpful for a PC pastor like us.
How long have you been serving as a pastor?
22.
Wow, amazing. What would you say to pastors who are watching right now, but they are still on the side of, I actually fear media for many reasons. I don't know it, it's not my language. But the thing about media is we've come to a point in modern history where it is essential. Like your message is actually limited if you're not doing media. So what would you say to other pastors, to other church leaders who are still on that side where they fear it, they don't want to touch it? So what would you say to church pastors, church leaders who are still fearing and still on that side of who I don't know what to do with it?
Well, first, explore,
Mhm.
because this is maybe it's a new turf for you. Do your own research, and maybe the best people to give you some thoughts are the young people, because that is their world, that's their platform, and they know what really communicates, what is not working for them. But maybe reach out to a pastor as well who's doing this. I think that will give you a little bit of confidence to see what they went through, or how did they jump also to social ministry. That will help. And your organization is one of the best that
Mhm.
can help, because you've been doing this for many years, and somehow you're giving us a platform, a space that we can explore
Yep.
safely as a pastor who desire to do this, and give us the tool and equipping that we need. So I think these things can help you.
Yeah, awesome. So you've heard it here. Pastor Jonathan is coming up with a YouTube channel. When it's up, we are going to platform it here if we can. Go ahead and watch out for that. We're going to be looking out for your YouTube channel. But right now, we can follow you where?
You can follow me. That's my local channel anyway. But just to encourage other pastors,
Yes.
we call it Tandaan Wise Tips.
Tandaan Wise Tips. And this is on
Facebook
Facebook
and
and
YouTube.
YouTube.
Yeah.
Already in YouTube.
Yeah.
I see. Are you on Instagram?
Not yet. That's a platform that I'll try to explore.
Yes, yes. More Gen Zs on Instagram.
Yeah. Easy, that's the point.
If you want to reach Gen Z, correct? Be on Instagram.
And now I'm understanding that.
Yes,
Because
that's
I'm a
right.
Facebook guy and YouTube
Yes,
guy. So I feel like everybody is on the same platform. But I discovered that
you can
that's a
explore.
little bit older platform, but it's still a good start for
Yeah,
everyone.
the reason why young people left Facebook
Mm,
because their dad and moms are already there.
that's right. Actually, well, don't you worry. My first ministry is their dad and their mom. So now
There you go. There you go. So let's say that again. It's Tandaan
wise tip.
Wise Tips by Pastor Jonathan Aranton of Lighthouse Christian Community. Thank you for joining us. It's this conversation, Pastor Jonathan. It's a pleasure. Medialight is a safe space for church leaders like Pastor Jonathan, and if you are one who's looking to have a sacred time and find a sacred space where you can connect to your creativity and where you can also be launched in your own media literacy journey. Medialight is the place for you. Click the link below and get your first steps towards your journey in media and media ministry. Thank you again, Pastor Anna. It's been awesome. Awesome. Thank you. Thank you.
God
That's
bless
great.
you.
Thanks for joining us.